Fed Chair Jerome Powell giving more color on the U.S. economy's ability to withstand upcoming interest rate hikes. More on that, let's bring in Yahoo Finance's very own Brian Chung. Brian, what's the latest?
Well, Rochelle, we know that the Federal Reserve raised interest rates for the first time since 2018. That happened last week when they raised interest rates by 0.25%. That's going to make credit cards more expensive, mortgages more expensive, auto loans more expensive, and all of that is to try to quell inflation, which is at 40-year highs, and the Fed chairman making an appearance today. And if there was any doubt about whether or not the Fed was going to get more hawkish or more aggressive on further interest rates down the hike, definitely consider the fact that the Fed chairman was saying this is definitely only the beginning of those interest rate increases. Constance Hunter, who moderated a session over at the National Association for Business Economics, asking the Fed chairman a question about whether or not a double interest rate bump of 50 basis points could be coming in the next meeting in May. Take a listen to that exchange from earlier this afternoon.
What would prevent us?
Yep.
Nothing. Executive summary. No, as I've said, that's not a decision that we've made. It's not a decision that we've made. What I've said is that if we think it's appropriate to raise 50 basis points at a meeting or meetings, we will do so.
So two things to point out there. First of all, the Fed chairman rarely ever makes a joke that elicits any laughs, so that's one thing worth noting. And then the second thing that's worth noting is the Fed has never made a 50 basis point increase in a single meeting since 2000. It's been over 20 years since we've seen something like that. But the Fed chairman joking about doing so really underscores how the Fed is going to do whatever it takes in increments as large as it takes to get inflation back down, which is going to make that first meeting in May, again, that first week of May, a very, very important and interesting one to watch, guys.
Indeed. I mean, I'm sure the market's just sort of wondering what that means. Thank you.
Good morning, 9:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast in the United States of America. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. And once again, last night I came on right before bed. I went to bed, slept like a fucking baby, like I told you I would. Told you Bitcoin was going to end up around 45K this morning before the options expired. And yeah, long and behold, we're up 863 points, another 1.96%. Catching a lot of people off guard. Like I said, everybody was going to look for this retrace before the options, and it simply wasn't going to come until after the options expiration. Because when you have $173 million covered, if you break 42K and hold it, the higher up 42K you go, the more money those options are worth for the long positions. And now the shorts, the higher up it goes, the more we're going to have to cover. And right now that's $173 million that's going to go into Bitcoin in the long position. So as soon as that happens and these options expire today, at the end of the trading day, which is about 4 p.m., when the stock market closes, they're going to have to cover these long positions, which would be short selling into longs. So that would mean $173 million will prematurely go into Bitcoin likely. So that would help exacerbate a price push up to over 50K probably. Now, there's going to be levels of retracement. We're going to see if this weekend is going to be a retracement weekend or if we're going to have a nice push up. To me, we're watching. I said 50K would be my decision point. And it comes out to something like this, what I drew out. That top resistance. So a lot of people thought we were going to retrace yesterday. I was convinced we were going to keep going up. And if there was going to be a retracement, it would come on a rejection around 45K. And then from 45K, assuming there was going to be a rejection because of the RSI, it could get rejected here and then start working its way back to this line to 43.4 probably. So that's what I was seeing yesterday. Unless we break out over this 45K before, and then we use that, that's going to be your very bullish setup. If we can hold 45,000, that's your extremely bullish setup. If we break below it, then we have to hold like 43,473. With XRP, This is what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating kind of like a swirl up. I really am. We talked about it yesterday. I know a lot of people thought it was breaking down, and I said it's just hugging, and this is what I interpreted, that we came into another symmetrical off the side, and I put this out a couple days ago. And I just thought this is what we're doing. It's kind of like a an ascending wedge, kind of. The small price action is getting smaller. It's getting tightened into a region. We look like we want to break out. And I'm telling you, if we break out of this, because we've been consolidating for a few days, we came up to 86, but nothing confluently. I just think if we were to break out of this region, let's say it's right here, the first break is going to be to about here. It's to 91 cents. If we break out of this, that's just my personal opinion. So, depending on where you can buy it, it's just under sub 80. We'll just say it's right about there. So just this move up is going to be another 8.8%. So if you're holding XRP, I wouldn't be getting rid of it yet. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't sell ABE yesterday, even though it went down to 160. What did it end up going down to? Like I told everybody, you know, there's going to be a spot where we're going to have to make a decision. Yesterday, it came all the way down to 164.4, but I bottomed that out, and it hit a double bottom there. So the volume is less than stellar when it's trying to sell out. So now we came up to that 174.1, the resistance I had up there. That's what we need to break over. So right now we're trying to make 167.7 the support after we fell through, and now we can go by level. So in that stochastic, in that 30-minute sold off pretty nice. And you can see why the price action came down the last 2 hours. We had a bearish divergence on the stochastic. Or not the stochastic, on the RSI. Stochastic has not crossed through bearishly yet. But we've started a very decisive uptrend on here. For anybody who's in ABE. Ever since we broke out of this symmetrical triangle, which is very common. And now we're going to have a very, very, very aggressive uptrend. As long as we can maintain it. This could be... These are where the very heavy profits start to come in. We got to make sure we do this right because it actually started over here, this uptrend. And the last thing you want to do is not be accurate because then you can throw yourself out of a position. So that's how we're looking right now. We're looking pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Like I said, the daily RSI and all that's going to be a little high. But the weekly is really, really low and desirable for ABE. So knowing that, you have one step ahead and you know that you're going to have moments of retrace, but that's the importance of getting in as early as we did. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Make sure to hit that like button, turn that bell notification to all, and subscribe to the channel if you're new or returning. Got to hit that like button, guys. Likes have been lagging. I get demoralized when I see it under 100 likes, and when we're averaging about 75 likes on the videos, that's not good enough. I put in far too much work and I'm far too accurate to not even get 100 likes per videos. Remember, hashtag be better, do better, hashtag FUD assassins. Remember, help one person each and every day, because if you don't do your part and I don't do my part, what the hell is honestly the point? We all need to be helping each other.